Tell me y'all just saw Caitlin Clark destroy Cheryl Reeves on national TV. I know y'all saw. Free smoke, ayy. Free smoke, ayy. Free smoke, ayy. Free smoke. Bruh, Caitlin Clark want all the smoke. Caitlin Clark want all the smoke, bruh. Bruh, she just annihilated Cheryl Reeve on national television. I didn't see that coming. They asked Caitlin Clark, hey, Caitlin, are there any player trades you like to make? Nah, I'm kind of set with my team, but I would like to trade coaches.
We are currently standing at ground zero of what can only be described as the single most catastrophic event in the history of the Women's National Basketball Association. If you thought you understood the magnitude of the Caitlin Clark saga, if you thought the debates about the Olympic roster were heated before, you need to erase everything you thought you knew, because the reality has just shifted on its axis. We are no longer operating in the realm of sports debate. We are witnessing the complete and total disintegration of the WNBA's leadership credibility in real-time, broadcast live to millions of stunned viewers across the globe. The headline "WNBA in shock" does not even begin to scratch the surface of the panic, the chaos, and the absolute fury that is currently engulfing the league offices in New York City. What happened tonight was not just a leak, it was an exposure. It was the moment the curtain was ripped down and the Wizard was revealed to be nothing more than a bitter, gatekeeping establishment terrified of its own future. Caitlin Clark, the rookie who has single-handedly revitalized the sport, has effectively confirmed what conspiracy theorists have been screaming for months. The system is rigged, the hate is personal, and the decision to leave her off the Olympic team was never about basketball. It was about a personal vendetta that has now been aired for the entire world to hear. Let us reconstruct the timeline of this disaster, because future historians of the sport will look back at this night as the moment everything changed. It began as a routine broadcast of the Indiana Fever versus the Minnesota Lynx. The energy in the arena was high, as it always is when Caitlin comes to town, but the tension was palpable. We all know the history, the snubs, the comments, the icy relationship between Clark and Lynx head coach Cheryl Reeve, who also happens to be the architect of the U.S. Olympic team. But nobody, absolutely nobody, was prepared for the production error that would turn a basketball game into a corporate crime scene. During the halftime break, while the television audience was being shown commercials for insurance and fast food, the digital stream, the feed watched by hundreds of thousands of die-hard fans online, remained live. And crucially, the audio feed from the production truck, which was tapping into the coach's microphones for an upcoming segment, was left open. It was a hot mic, a live wire. And on the other end of that wire was Cheryl Reeve, speaking with a level of candid toxic honesty that she thought was protected by the privacy of her locker room tunnel. The audio, which has now been ripped, shared, and re-uploaded millions of times on Twitter, TikTok, and Instagram, is undeniable. It is crystal clear. In the clip, Reeve is heard speaking to an assistant coach. The assistant mentions the noise from the media regarding Caitlin's exclusion from the Paris Games. And then Cheryl Reeve says the words that will likely end her career. She laughs, a dismissive, cold laugh, and says, "Let them scream. They don't understand that we are protecting the sanctity of this team. That girl is nothing but a marketing gimmick on steroids. As long as I am holding the pen, the gimmick stays home." The assistant tries to interject, mentioning the pressure from sponsors, to which Reeve allegedly responds with even more venom. "I don't care if Nike pulls the plug, we have to humble her. She walks around like she owns the league, we break her ego first, then maybe in 4 years we use. But I am not going to Paris to coach the Caitlin Clark Roadshow. I'm going to win with soldiers who listen, not divas who shoot from the logo. Marketing gimmick, humble her. Break her ego, let those phrases sink into your consciousness." This is the head coach of the United States national team, the woman entrusted with the patriotic duty of assembling the best possible squad, admitting on tape that her primary motivation was not winning, but humbling a 22-year-old superstar. It is an admission of malice. It is an admission that the basketball fit argument we were fed for weeks was a lie. A fabrication designed to cover up a personal dislike for the way Caitlin Clark has changed the culture of the sport. The internet exploded instantly. Within seconds of the clip airing, the chat rooms froze in shock, then erupted in rage. Fire Reeve began trending globally before the third quarter even tipped off. But the true horror for the WNBA wasn't the fan reaction, It was the realization that the players had fun, the realization that news travels faster than light in a sports arena, and the realization that Caitlin Clark was about to find out. Sources from inside the tunnel confirmed the worst-case scenario for the league. Caitlin Clark heard the audio. A teammate, scrolling through social media during the halftime break, saw the clip and played it. Witnesses described the scene in the Fever locker room as deadly silent. Usually a coach would address this. Usually there would be a team meeting to calm everyone down. But what do you say when the opposing coach, the woman who controls your Olympic destiny, has just been caught plotting your downfall? Caitlin reportedly didn't say a word. She didn't cry. She didn't throw a water bottle. She simply sat there, staring at the floor, listening to the loop of Cheryl Reeve calling her a gimmick over and over again. And then she stood up. The look in her eyes, according to those present, was not human. It was the look of a predator who had just been given permission to kill. She walked out of that locker room with a darkness around her that was terrifying. She wasn't going out there to play basketball anymore. She was going out there to destroy a reputation. When the teams returned to the floor for the second half, the atmosphere in the arena had shifted. The crowd knew. The fans in the front row were holding up their phones, showing the clip to each other. You could see the whispers spreading like a virus through the stands. Cheryl Reeve, standing on the sideline, seemed oblivious she was drawing up plays, acting like it was business as usual. She didn't know that she was already a ghost. She didn't know that the executioner was warming up at the three-point line. And then the massacre began. The third quarter of this game will go down in history as the revenge. Caitlin Clark didn't just score, she made a statement with every single touch of the ball. On the very first possession, she brought the ball up, walked right to the logo, the spot Reeve mocked in the audio, and pulled up swish. She didn't run back on defense. She turned, looked directly at Cheryl Reeve, and held her follow-through for an uncomfortable 3 seconds. The message was clear: here is your gimmick. It got worse. Possession after possession, Clark targeted the players Reeve had selected for the Olympic team. She put the presumptive starting point guard on skates. With a crossover so vicious the crowd gasped, she drove into the paint against the veteran bigs, took hard fouls, finished the play, and screamed, a primal angry scream that echoed through the arena. She wasn't smiling. She wasn't celebrating with her teammates. She was on a warpath. By the time the fourth quarter rolled around, Caitlin had 40 points. The Lynx were demoralized. They looked like they were caught in the middle of a domestic dispute they wanted no part of. And Cheryl Reeve, the camera cuts to her were brutal. You could see the moment she realized. An assistant coach leaned over and whispered something in her ear. The color drained from her face. She looked at her phone. She looked at the crowd, who were now chanting, "Caitlin's better," and "fire." She realized that the hot mic had caught her. She realized that the beast destroying her team on the court was fueled by her own words. It was Shakespearean in its tragedy.
Any second guessing here about not having Clark on the Olympic team?
From me? No.
But as a coach of the home team, there's going to be a lot of people cheering for that other side. I mean,
I'll get 2 shits.
How about one?
Not even 1 shit.
The villain created the hero, and the hero was burning the villain's house down. But the defining moment, the clip that will be played on every sports show for the next decade, came after the final buzzer. The Fever won, largely due to Caitlin's 50-point explosion. The tradition is to shake hands. It is the code of sportsmanship. Caitlin walked down the line, high-fiving the opposing players, and then she reached Cheryl Reeve. The entire world held its breath. The cameras zoomed in so close you could see the sweat on their brows. Cheryl Reeve extended a hand, perhaps in a desperate attempt to save face, perhaps out of habit. Caitlin Clark stopped. She looked at the hand, then she looked Reeve dead in the eye, and she laughed. She laughed the exact same dismissive, cold laugh that Reeve had used in the audio recording, and then she walked away. She left the national team coach hanging in the wind. It was the ultimate disrespect, and it was absolutely perfect. It was Caitlin saying, "You don't get to humble me. I humble you." The aftermath began before the players even showered. The post-game press conference was a circus. Usually the PR team would protect Caitlin. They would say basketball questions only. But Caitlin walked to the podium, sat down, and before a single reporter could raise their hand, she grabbed the microphone. "I heard it," she said. Her voice was steady, but there was fire underneath it. I heard what she said. The whole world heard it. and I just want to say this. If hard work, breaking records, and bringing millions of fans to this league is a gimmick, then I'm proud to be a gimmick. But I'd rather be a gimmick than a coward who smiles in my face and stabs me in the back on a hot mic. She dropped the mic and walked off. That soundbite is currently being played on CNN, on ESPN, on Fox News. It has transcended sport. It has become a story about workplace toxicity, about the establishment versus the new generation, about women tearing down other women instead of lifting them up. Inside the WNBA offices, the situation is catastrophic. We are hearing reports of emergency Zoom calls with the board of governors. The sponsors are ballistic. Nike, who has invested hundreds of millions into the Caitlin Clark business, is reportedly threatening to pull funding from USA Basketball if Reeve is not removed. You cannot have the face of your brand being insulted by the coach you also sponsor. It is a conflict of interest that cost billions. State Farm issued a cryptic tweet supporting visionaries who changed the game. A clear shot at Reeve. The money is moving against the coach. And in professional sports, when the money moves, the heads roll. But the deeper issue here is the integrity of the Olympic mission. The team flies to Paris in a week. How can Cheryl Reeve lead this team? Every practice will be a circus. Every press conference will be about the marketing gimmick comic. The players on the roster, many of whom are friends with Caitlin or respect her game, are now in an impossible position. If they support their coach, they look like they agree with the insults. If they support Caitlin, they create a mutiny. The locker room is poisoned. We are hearing rumors that Breanna Stewart and Aja Wilson, the leaders of the team, have requested a private meeting with the USA Basketball director. The vibe is that they do not want to be associated with this mess. They want to win gold, not participate in a reality show drama created by their coach's ego. There is a very real possibility that we see a player boycott or a demand for a coaching change within the next 24 hours. And what about the legal ramification? Caitlin Clark could theoretically sue for defamation or workplace harassment. The WNBA creates a hostile work environment by allowing a coach to publicly disparage a player based on personal animus rather than professional critique. The Players Association, WNBPA, has already issued a statement saying they are reviewing the audio and will take all necessary steps to protect our members from abuse. Abuse, that is the word they used. They are classifying Cheryl Reeve's comments not as trash talk, but as abuse. That is a legal term. That signals that the union is preparing to go to war against the league if they try to protect Reeve. The fans are already mobilizing. There are petitions with over 500,000 signatures demanding Reeve's resignation. Ticket holders for the Olympic send-off games are demanding refunds. The Caitlin Clark effect works both ways. She brings the money when she plays, and she takes the money away when she is disrespected. The league is staring down the barrel of a boycott from the very fan base they spent the last year cultivating. If they choose Reeve over Clark, they are choosing the past over the future. They are choosing a dying ideology over a booming economy. It is a suicide mission, and everyone except perhaps Cheryl Reeve sees it. As we stand here tonight, the future of the WNBA hangs in the balance. This is not hyperbole. This is a league that has fought for relevance for 25 years. They finally struck gold with Caitlin Clark. They finally had the eyes of the world upon them. And what did they do? Their leadership tried to sabotage it out of jealousy. The hot mic didn't just catch a coach being mean. It caught the entire rotten philosophy of the WNBA old guard. It exposed the gatekeeping. It exposed the resentment. And now, that philosophy has to die. Cheryl Reeve has to go. There is no other outcome that satisfies the public or the sponsors. She cannot coach Team USA. She likely cannot coach the Minnesota Lynx. She has become radioactive. But let's not lose sight of the triumph in this tragedy. Tonight, Caitlin Clark proved she is untouchable. She didn't need a PR firm to spin this. She didn't need a lawyer to fight her battle. She used a basketball. She took the hate, the insults, the conspiracy, and she buried them under 50 points of pure brilliance. She showed the world that you can call her a gimmick. You can call her a diva, but you cannot stop her. The revenge game will be replayed forever. It will be the flu game of the WNBA. The night the rookies stood tall while the legends crumbled. So the ball is now in the court of the WNBA commissioner. The clock is ticking. Every second that Cheryl Reeve remains employed is an insult to the fans and an insult to the game. The world is watching. The sponsors are watching. And most importantly, Caitlin Clark is watching. She has played her hand. She has exposed the truth. Now we wait to see if the league has the courage to do what is right, or if they will burn their own house down to protect a coach who was caught holding the matches. This is the end of the WNBA, as we knew. And maybe, just maybe, that is a good thing. Because what rises from these ashes will be built on the back of Caitlin Clark, and it will have no room for the Cheryl Reeves of the world. I want to know what you think. Is this the end for Cheryl Reeve? Can the USA team recover from this? And did Caitlin go too far by ignoring the handshake, or was it the perfect response? The comments section is open, and I know you have a lot to say. This is history in the breaking. Stay tuned, because the fallout from this hot mic is just beginning.